person was like, "Excuse me, can I just touch your hair?"
Wow.
It's my first time to meet an African person. So I was like, "Oh my God, so you want to touch my hair?" So I said, yeah, go ahead. And she was like, "Oh, this is nice, you know."
So guys, welcome back to my channel. On this channel, we share with you a lot of experiences that as students or African students in Germany we go through, we have encountered. This is to help you so that if you intend to study here in Germany, it will be easier for you. You understand everything that goes on here, so you can prepare adequately for it. Today, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please click on the subscription button and then on the notification button to subscribe. So today I have here with me my wonderful friend and sister. She is Ruth. So I'm going to allow her to introduce herself to you guys, and then we will get to.
Thanks very much, Emmanuel, for having me at your platform, and I'm so happy. And I just want to introduce myself. I'm Ruth Nyurenda from Zambia, and I came here to do my master's in international sports and event management. It's a combination of MBA and sports management.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. So guys, now you know Ruth. So we're going to go straight into the points that we need to understand, the things we need to know before you consider applying to Germany. Number one is to understand the type of program or course you want to study in Germany. You know, oftentimes people just say, "Oh, I'm coming to do this. I'm coming to do this economics." So first of all, all you need to know is that if the course, first of all, are you coming to study and return to your country?
Yeah, that's the
You must understand that, yes, it's very important. If you are coming to study and go back to your country, then you may have your objective in your mind already. However, if you're coming to study and also stay here in Germany to work, then it's important that you understand the program, the job prospects after school. Yeah. Because you come and do any other course and afterwards, you might not be able to find market or job market, all right?
So that's the most important thing, Emmanuel. So I can give my own experience over that. For me, like I said earlier on, that I did international sports and event management, of which when I was applying, coming here to Germany, my mind was, when I finish my course, I have to go back to Zambia. But I've seen a lot of things in Germany, the potential that I can do here. Now, looking at the course which I did, somehow it is not giving me the chances to look for other opportunities. So the most important thing, look at the course that you want to come and do here. Do a lot of research that you can find a lot of opportunities.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very important because, so before you do that, just check the job market prospects of your program of study, and then you can, analyze for yourself and say that, well, I stand a chance of getting a job opportunity immediately after study or not. Then you can judge it for yourself. Okay.
That's perfect.
So now reason number 2. First of all, I think you need to understand your admission requirements, and this is very basic for every admission. When you were coming from Zambia, what were some of the things what did the school demand from you?
Very good. The first thing, they look at the results that you have, what you did at your bachelor's. Then from there, when you produce all the paperwork, when you finish with the paperwork, you need to do the interview, which is a written interview, of which we know in Africa, when it comes to written, we are so good. Yeah. So when you pass that written interview, then they're going to invite you for a Skype interview.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I did.
Wow.
Then all the process I managed with the paperwork, the written interview, and the oral interview through Skype. It was so fantastic for me.
Wow. Yeah. That's true. So for me, when I was coming, Well, I basically needed a couple of things. First of all, I needed my school leaving certificate, my bachelor certificate.
Yeah.
I also needed my transcript.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I needed a proof of English because
Yeah.
my program was in English. So a proof of English was very, very vital. So for me, I studied all my life in English. So what I had to do was to go to my English department.
Very good.
And they issued me English proficiency letter, which I attached to my admission document or application document, sorry. And then, but if you don't have that, then you need to go and write any other English test. So we have the TOEFL, we have the IELTS. So you have to get it. It's very, very important. And then the next thing for me was after all this, and then I think they demanded for my secondary school certificates, also the WASI. So it all helped. So these are the basic things that you need to know, and then put them together. And one other thing too, they demand for your CV. CV, especially if it is masters. Sometimes they want to see if it's a professional course. They want to see if you have some job experience and all that. So they want you to present your CV. And for most German institutions, they require an European something standard CV. I mean, the university can specify it for you if you read all the requirements. It's also important that you visit the university you want to apply to, their website, to read all the requirements to the single detail before you apply. So you can miss out on an opportunity of admission if you miss out even one.
Yes.
So
then another thing also which is more important, you need to attach the motivation letter.
Yes.
You explain to them, you convince them why you are the best student in that course.
Yes, true.
So you need to write about 2 pages, or others they demand 1,500 words. Then you also attach the cover letter.
Good.
Yeah.
And the next thing you need to know is your source of funding. It's very important, isn't it? Yeah, it's so important. Your source of funding. So what happens is that when you come to Germany, you will need to, most German institutions, especially the public universities, they are free. All right, so you don't have to worry about paying school fees. But you need to also take care of your accommodation yourself, your feeding, your clothing, your transportation sometimes. You know, so you need to factor all of this in, and that is why you need to know from the beginning that, okay, am I going to fund myself, or I'm going to apply for scholarship?
Yeah.
Now, the most popular scholarship that people apply often in Germany is DAAD scholarship. So DAAD scholarship. You can go to their website to access it. I'll do a video about how to apply for DAAD scholarship separately.
So maybe I'll talk about the self-funding, like what I did for me, because I couldn't even apply for scholarship.
Good.
The most important thing they're going to ask for is you open the blocked account.
Good.
This blocked account, you need to, like for me by then, I paid 850 euro, 8,000.
You paid 8,000 euros when you were coming.
Yes, when I was coming, but things have changed now.
Yes.
You need to raise about 10,000 euros.
Yeah.
So
10,230. I guess.
Yeah. So that money will be put in your account. It is your account.
Yes.
You know, it's so funny for Germany. They don't want to see you when you come to Germany to be a destitute.
Yes.
So that money, you'll be using it when you come to Germany.
Yes.
They're going to keep it for you, and they're going to make more like the budget for you, or an expenditure for you, so to say.
What should be spread across 12 months.
12 months.
So every month they will give you 850.
Yeah.
Every month they put 850 into your account.
Very good.
And one thing with the funding is that sometimes you should also read about the state in which you are going in. So for us, we are here in Berlin, and in Berlin, if you're, for example, if your study is for 2 years, and most German master's degrees are for 2 years, so it is for 2 years, which means that at the end of 1 year, you would have to mostly they extend your visa for 1 year.
Yeah.
So at the end of each year, you have to go to the Auslanderbehörde, which is the foreign office, to go and apply or renew your visa. Now, some states in Germany that I've heard of, Kiel, and some states where you would have to put in another block account money of 10,000 euros before, but not all the states apply the same thing. So in Berlin here, you don't need to have a block account. All you need to show is some small money in your bank account. I remember the last time I was going, the money on my bank account was like 700 euros, and it wasn't much, but that was all I could present, and I had my visa renewed for me. So you should bear in mind and read from the state's policy. What is the state's policy about renewing your visa? What's the state's policy about the block account and everything? It can be a bit complicated in there, so you should understand that. Now, the second source of funding to me is the DAP scholarship. Now, if you intend to apply for the DAP scholarship, what you should do is to apply the previous year before your, the year you want to come to Germany for it. So, for example, if you want to study, if you want to come to Germany in 2022, in 2021, you should be working on your DAP scholarship. Okay, so that's how it works. For the self-funding, you can apply the same year because your money, but Dad need to process all of it. So you have to go to that website to apply. There are a number of programs, so they don't support every program. This I must say.
That, we need to understand that.
That doesn't support every program, but they support programs that are quite developmental some way. It's more or less to help people acquire knowledge to develop their country. So, but sometimes if you scan through their website, you see the programs that they sponsor, and if it's fit for you, you apply through that. And if you're lucky and you get it, that is going to sponsor you. You don't need to pay a dime throughout your stay in Germany.
And it's so beneficial.
Very.
They're going to pay for your fees, for your accommodation, and they'll be paying you, more like you're working. At the end of the month, they give you something that you need to, because, they've given us the budget each month. You need to have, let's say, maybe 850 euros, of which you need to pay the rentals and you go for shopping, So fantastic.
So yes, getting a dance scholarship is good. Actually, a scholarship will leave you of a lot of things, so you don't have to think about having to work, so you concentrate on your school. So we'll have a full video on how to apply for that scholarship and explain into details the things you need, what you need to put in, and what to do and what not. All right.
Then another thing also maybe which I can add is the part of the insurance. It's most important.
Yes.
Before coming here, you need to apply for insurance.
That's true.
If you don't have that, it's health insurance, so to say, not a travel insurance.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, then they're not going to give you a visa to come to Germany.
It's true.
So that's the most important thing again.
It's true. So all that, if you're going through the block account, for example, if the block account people, so they have several block accounts. Some of them incorporates it into the block account. So they take care of that for you.
Yeah.
So it's a bit easier to do it that way. And when you come to Germany, you're already covered in terms of health and all. Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is language requirement for your program. What is the language requirement? You should know it ahead of time. So one time I met this guy, and he was frustrated. I mean, he came to Germany, he didn't know that part of his course was in Germany. So he thought it was only English throughout, but he didn't read the requirement very well. And he came, and now he has to take time off to study German for almost 6 months or 1 year before he could get a proficiency to attend the courses. He was frustrated. So it's very important, Now there are 3 language spectrums for all the for studies or the languages in Germany. So for the first one, it's either your courses is in 100% English. You have to make sure of that from the school's website that it is taught 100% in English. That is one. The second one is that if it could be 100% in German, and for that some schools allow you to come to Germany without German. to use your first year to do a preparatory course in German, to study German, then you can, enroll. But there is an advantage to that, because when you do that, you have killed one bird with two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Because first you get to integrate yourself in the German culture, you get to speak the language, and then once you are done with the school, you did everything in German, you're already prepared for the job market. It's easier for those people to get jobs.
Yeah, it's so easy for you.
Yeah.
That's the advantage of the language again.
It's very true. Yeah. And then the third spectrum is when it is 50-50. So a portion of your course is taught in English and a portion of your course is taught in German. So you should know all that, so that you know the requirement, what to do. I say that sometimes they will ask you to learn German in your country before you come.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of different dynamics, so you have to understand all those things. It's very important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And maybe the other thing also, what they do, like for my university, it's totally 100% English courses. That's what I did. But there is an option for you to do German course.
For free sometimes.
For free, yeah,
yes.
It was for free.
Yes.
So now looking at time, so we couldn't manage to do it. So we could, like, you attend the class today, then the other time you're like, we didn't know the advantages of learning the
language.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. So most of us take it for granted. We think it's not important, but it's very important, especially if you want to stay behind and work in Germany. It's very important for the language, to learn the German language.
It is.
I'm sure we will get there. So the next one is the city and the town you are coming to study in is very, very important.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that, oh, I've got admission, I'm in Germany. Once it's in Germany, it's okay. Well, you must know, because, for example, if you are in a bigger city, it's easier to find student jobs, to support yourself when your block account is done. One time.
Oh no.
you'll be there somewhere around August.
Yeah.
And then Fintiba is one of the block account managers in Germany. Send you a message that this is your last block account. And when you are depending on your block account, life is easier and smooth.
And it's so easy and so smooth, and you enjoy everything. Because you don't even work. Oh, what you depend on is the blocked account. Money will just coming into your account, So it's so fantastic. But one day
you wake up and realize that, oh my God, the money that I'm used to for 1 year is no more.
Oh my God.
And that's where reality begins to dawn on you.
Yeah.
So that's where the city in which you live in helps, because there are a lot of student jobs in the bigger city than in the smaller towns. Because in a bigger city like Berlin, in Frankfurt, in Hamburg, in Hanover, in Dortmund, in Munich, a lot of bigger cities here, and you are able to easily find job, a student job, 20-hour job, easy for you to do, to support yourself once the work account is finished. But if you're also clever,
and if you're so
and smart, you said make hay while the sun shines. If you're clever, what you would do is you would work alongside your block account money.
That's perfect, I'm telling you. And you're going to enjoy for that one, I'm telling you, definitely. And you're like, oh my God, this is the money. You get your 850 euros, then you do your part-time job, the student jobs, at least it will be giving you 800 again, where you're like, oh my God, 1,700 at the end of the month. Oh, Jesus.
Yes, this is very important. Well, on another video, I will talk about block accounts, setting up a block account and finding student jobs, and some of the things you need to know about finding a student job and the easiest way to find some student jobs. So stay tuned, subscribe, keep watching, and I'll tell you a lot about it later. So it's very important. And then the next one that has to do with your city is about the incidence of racism. Racism. Because the bigger cities are relatively bigger and cosmopolitan. You have people from diverse racial backgrounds. The Indians are here, the Asians are here, Africans are here,
a lot.
Americans, other European countries. So you meet people from diverse background. So it's easy to integrate. It's easy for people to understand different diversity in culture than to be in a small town. What was your experience with being in a small town?
You know, one time we had an event. We had organized a boxing gala, and it was so important that it was more like a national thing, international thing.
Okay.
So we went to.
So that event has to do with your school, right?
Yeah, when I was doing my internship.
Okay.
You know, that's the best thing of studying here in Germany. So I had a good experience, you know. Fantastic. So when I did my internship, so this company, it was an event company. So we had to organize for boxing. So when we went to the small city, I had totally different experience there, you know. I was the only African person. I cannot say black person. No.
The only
African person.
They could easily make you out.
And they, yeah, you can even spot me, you know, you're like, oh, that is an African person. And you know, it was another experience. Lucky enough, I was one of the organizers and they could give me respect, you know, but knowing that I'm part of the organizing team, that was the most important thing. And they could see me, like, when I want to go and visit another room, they could see me going to the changing room for the boxers, and they were like, who is she? They could see now the tag, they were like, oh, she's part of the organizing team. So it was another challenge. And the other thing which you need to understand, you know, they looked at me, others it was their first time to see an African person, and I couldn't put my, you know, my artificial.
So you had your natural,
I had my natural
African hair.
Wow. And I remember one person was like, excuse me, can I just touch your hair?
Wow.
It's my first time to meet an African person. So I was like, oh my God, so you want to touch my hair? So I said, yeah, go ahead. And she was like, oh, this is nice, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah, wow. So interesting. So those are the things which you need to understand, but that is on the good side of it.
Okay, so that is life in a smaller city.
Yeah.
It's very true. You know, I have a friend who narrated to me. She was also in a smaller city, and she was literally accosted in a train. She was traveling on a train, and then somebody pulled a knife on her. Go back to your country.
Oh my God.
So some of these, it is not predominant. You know, we are not saying this to scare you.
No.
Racism is everywhere. It's even in Africa.
Yeah.
Racism.
Even in Africa, we have it. You know, when you look at your fellow African and you're like, which tribe is speaking the language I cannot even understand? That is racism too.
Yeah, it's true.
You know. So those are the issues that we need to understand.
Very true. So you have to read about the school and then the town in which the school is located. You have to read a lot about it. Read about the incidents that have been happening in terms of racism and everything.
Yeah, maybe I can give another example too. Like in my case, when I came, I was renting somewhere. Then I thought of, no, I need to move from this district so that I can go to another district. So, you know, my landlord, she's white. And she's Germany, from East Germany.
Oh.
You know, but we get along. Each time we could, like, if we want to go for shopping, we go together for shopping, we eat together, and I have a good experience.
It's true. I must say that some Germans are really nice. In fact, most of them are really nice, actually. Yes. Just a few handful of miscreants who are really defiant and they don't understand anything. But most people are very, very nice here in this country. You know, so you must understand all that and then anticipate, you know, that okay, this is what I'm there to experience, you know, and all that. And then the one advantage of being in a bigger city is when it's easy for you to get internship. Because all the big companies are here, man. You know, all the big companies are in Berlin, are in Hamburg, in Munich, you know, all those places. So if you want to find an internship to give you work experience, it's so easy in a bigger company. We even have students from smaller towns coming to the bigger city for internships, you know, and I believe that it helps if you already in a bigger city. Well, that's my biased opinion. But some people also don't want the noise that come with the bigger city and the
They prefer.
craze, so they want to be closer to nature.
Yeah.
And yes, so know your preference, know what you want, and understand the city before you apply for the school there. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about is accommodation. Where to lay your head is very important. Now, what you should understand is that in the smaller cities or in the smaller town, it's easier and cheaper to find accommodation. Accommodation is cheaper and it's easier. I remember when I came into Germany, my first place was Freiburg. It's closer to Dresden.
Okay.
And it was a small city. And for my hostel, where I was staying, I was paying 200 euros.
Oh, so cheap.
Yeah. Then I moved to Berlin, and all of a sudden I found myself paying between 350 euros to 450. And sometimes I can go higher if your
like
taste
for
is
me, when I just came, I was like, because I did everything when I was in Africa. I booked the accommodation in advance and I paid for security fee, which they call security fee.
Yes. In German, it's called Kaution or a caution fee. So you pay for accommodation on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
Unlike Africa, you have to pay 3 years in advance, 6 months in advance, 1 year in advance. No, you pay on a monthly basis. But some landlords require you to put down a caution fee, which could be just a month's rent or 2 months.
Or 2 months. Like for me, it was about 2 months, and my rent was, by then I was paying 650. It was a nice apartment.
Wow.
Very beautiful apartment, but it was so expensive.
650?
Yeah, 650.
How much of that is, what the percentage of that to your block account money?
When I was coming, I couldn't think of the money, what and what. My older sister was paying for my accommodation.
Oh.
Back from Africa, but it was so costly, money coming from Africa to Europe.
Yes, it's very costly.
She paid for me for 6 months. Then she told me, "Look at me now. I don't have the money at the moment. I'm paying 600 euros."
That could be a lot.
And she was like, "Can't you find anything to do?"
Right.
So that you start paying for yourself, because that's the disadvantage of blocked accounts. You're like, no, I'll be receiving the money and
no matter what.
So what should no, I cannot even find something to do. So not realizing that you are only spending, you don't have the income.
It's true. It's very true.
Yeah.
But on the accommodation, you should also understand that there are two types of accommodation.
Yeah.
The private accommodation or the ones provided by the university. As much as possible, try to get into the one provided by the university because they are very cheap and less expensive. Even if you are in a bigger city like Berlin, it's still affordable, relatively cheap. But if you find a private apartment, it could be higher. So in a later I'll talk about in the later videos I'll share about finding apartments in your school and the things you need to know, what you need to go through and all that. But you have to consider your first priority should be to get into the school's accommodation because one, it's easier if the school is coordinating this for you whilst you are not here in Germany. It's easier. And then two, it's cheaper. So you have to do that. So you have to consider whether you want to move into. Some people also don't want to move into school accommodation. They want to be in a private. That's good. There are a lot of companies that provide those accommodation. You can even find some on Facebook, online, everything, and you can get yourself a decent accommodation. But think about it. Think about the cost. Think about the distance between the accommodation to your school. The proximity is very, very important. So that is it. Okay. And then the final one has to do with integration. You must understand. So that from the beginning of the video, we shared about coming from Africa to Germany. You must have your plan in mind. What is the long-term goal for your study? Are you coming here to study and go back to Africa? Then you must know that it will require different set of action. But if you intend to come here, study, live and work in Germany, which most people do, Then you must be prepared to be integrated into the German culture, and it's very important, you know, very, very important. So you have to make sure that you have planned to study the language from A1 to C1,
C2.
sometimes C2, you know, yes. And you must be prepared to attend the language schools. Now people are doing it online. A lot of some you can attend classes. Some universities even provide classes for students, so you can easily enroll. Some university for the basic level they give it to you for free. Most universities do the A1 for free.
Yeah, A1 is for
and
free.
Then the
A1 and A2.
Yeah, sometimes A2. The subsequent one you pay a little amount of money, not so much. Then you study and study. If this is your long-term goal, make sure that you know the language before you finish school, because most Germans require you to speak to speak German before you can be employed, because especially where your job requires you to interact with people and customers, and you know you will need it, and especially, and also it helps you find internships.
Yeah, maybe on that one I can explain more. Like when I was applying for the company to do for internship, it was so difficult for me to find a company, because most of the companies here, they speak Germany. Most of the companies, and you know, in sports that is an interactive
language.
Yes. So one of the companies, I was told, no, you should translate all your papers into Germany.
Wow.
Then speak a little of German, at least B2.
Wow.
Now for me, by then I couldn't even express any single word in Germany.
Wow.
So it was so difficult for me, but later on I had to visit one company and I told them to say, no, I don't speak Germany at all, but they could speak Germany throughout and a little bit of English. So they accommodated me, and we were doing most of the activities in Germany, and
sometimes you'll be lost in your thoughts.
Yeah, you're in the meeting, you know?
Yeah.
Because I was the manager. Yeah. You're in the meeting and people are busy talking Germany, and you're like, oh God, what is this now? So it's so important for you to know the basics, and and I forced myself to say, oh, ich heiße Ruth. Ich komme from Zambia, aus Zambia. So I could speak broken German and they were so happy.
Ich heiße Ruth, ich komme aus Zambia. Genau, wir sind alles zusammen. Okay, it's true. It's very true. So the language requirement is very, very important. It helps you with every step of the way. So you have to take it serious. In fact, if you have it in mind, you can even start learning from Africa, because they have in most African countries they have the Goethe Institute. In Ghana, like this, we have Goethe Institute in Cantonment, where you can just go there and study the German language to an appreciable level before you travel. If you have the opportunity, please do. And then before you travel, it makes your whole stay and living in Germany easy, an easy experience, you know, for you. So it's also very important. And then when you are done with school, you want to apply for a job, it's also very, very important for you to know and understand the German language. It also helps if you are applying for permanent residence, and even if you later want to apply for German passport. All these things are required. You know, it's very, very important that where's your language certificate, because the German government wants people to integrate. You know, that notwithstanding, a lot of companies also use English as their medium of communication, and then competing on the job market. The Germans themselves speak good English. It will shock you that you come to Germany and most people speak very good English with good accent. I'm telling you. So you are competing with these people for the same job who speak German at a native level, and then they also speak some good level of English. So it's also important that you abreast yourself with the language and get to understand it very well, isn't it? So we are done, right?
We are done.
Yes.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much for watching. Leave your comment below if ever if you've learned so much from this then let us know from the comments below, and then subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned for more insightful, awesome, informative videos that is coming your way. Now, this is where we bring down the curtain, isn't it?
Yeah, auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen, so wir sehen uns next, okay, am next video, okay?
Yeah.
Tschüss.
Ciao.